Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you all are doing good. In today's video, we will be starting off with the lectures and we would be covering Introduction to Anatomy and Physiology today. But before we dive into the video, two important updates that I have to give you guys. First thing, in the description you can find a link to the WhatsApp community wherein I will be sharing a lot of resources, PDFs, PPTs and a lot of virtual events that will be happening in the biomedical domain. And if you're interested to join these things and get access to these resources, you can join the WhatsApp community channel. The link is in the description. The second thing that I would like to mention you guys is basically I have designed a lot of concepts for my merchandise, for which I will be obviously requiring few suggestions from your end. So there is a link to my Instagram profile and I am doing a lot of polls to select the best design for the merchandise. Do drop in your suggestions and maybe your opinions about the same. So without further ado, let's dive into the video, and today we would be covering Introduction to Anatomy and Physiology. Okay, so I believe the screen is visible to you guys right now, and in this lecture we would be breaking the entire concepts into 5 different topics. First, we would be getting an introduction to anatomy and physiology. Then we will be getting to the history of anatomy. Then coming to the physiology, we will be seeing how parts function, and then complementarity of structure and function of these different things. And lastly, we would be seeing hierarchy of organizations, right? It may sound very different to you guys right now, but I have made sure that the topics that I have covered in this module is very friendly to read through and understand. Right now, every time you move or experience a new day, right, it's because many different parts of the body and systems in your body are working together. Now these systems help your body function properly and allow you to do amazing things. You're eating, you're breathing, you're walking, you're jumping, you're running and whatnot. So basically you are an incredible monstrous beast which can do anything, right? So the first important point that I would like to mention here is every movement you make and every new day that you live to see, right, is the result of a collection of systems working together to function properly. Like I said, you're walking, you're breathing and whatnot, you're doing multiple things on a daily basis, and you're able to do that is because the parts and the system in your body is working in coordination with each other, because of which you are able to do these day-to-day activities. Now, a few fun facts, right? Now, did you know that if you open your intestine, right, and if you stretch it out, it would be as tall as a 3-story building or a building with 3 floors, right? And that's how long they can be when all coiled up inside your body. So let's imagine a 3-story building, right? There is a long pipe which has been compressed and that is inside your body. Right? That's an interesting fact and that really fascinates me. The second fun fact that you can make note of is the amount of saliva you produce by the time maybe you turn 65 or 70. If you see the amount of saliva you produce, it can completely fill up an entire swimming pool. Right now, these are the 2 fun facts that I thought of sharing to you guys. So maybe tomorrow, whenever you're making a PPT for your college or for your learning purpose, maybe you can drop out these fun facts as well. Now, certainly, why am I here? Certainly, I am here to help you explore the amazing world of your own body through the twin discipline of anatomy and physiology. What is anatomy? First, look at the picture that is there, right? The study of the structure and relationships between the body parts is anatomy. And if I break it down further, you can read it here. It involves studying the names, shapes, and locations of body parts, such as organs, bones, muscles, and blood vessels. Now, by understanding anatomy, we can know what each part is called and where it is located. So basically, you are studying the structure and the relationship between the structures between the different body parts. That is basically anatomy. So in very simple words, if you want me to highlight what is anatomy, you can maybe look at this specific color, brown color segment that I have highlighted for you. So the study of the structure and relationship between body parts is anatomy in very simple words. Coming down, then what is physiology? Now again, look at the picture first. The science of how those parts come together to function to keep the body alive is known as physiology. But let's try to understand in a more better way. It is like a user manual. Now, whenever you are buying an electronic item, you get a handbook with it, right? Through which you can understand how the different things are working inside the electronic gadget that you have bought. In the same way, Physiology basically refers to understand the internal functioning of the different body parts, right? So basically you understand how the heart pumps blood, how the lungs helps us to breathe, how the muscles allow us to move, right? So basically we would be covering all these things in this specific domain. And I have highlighted another segment in the section itself. Physiology helps us to understand the mechanisms behind all the functions our bodies carry to maintain life. Right now, if you are a living individual, your body should function in coordination with each other, and different body parts will function in a different way, right? So physiology helps us to understand the functioning of different body parts or the organs. So again, summarizing it in a very simple way, what is anatomy and what is physiology? Anatomy is the study of what bodies are like or how they are structured, and physiology on the other hand is the study of what our bodies do and how they function. Now again, together, if you combine it together, anatomy and physiology, if you combine it together, it is known as the science of us, right? So basically we are studying about our body part, how it functions, how it's structurized, and how it's interlinked with each other. So pretty much anatomy, physiology combined together is known as the science of us. So I think few things that we have discussed so far is very simple to you guys, and I guess you have understood. If you have any doubts, you can put it in the comment section. Summarizing again, what is anatomy? Anatomy is the study of what our bodies are like and how they are structured. And physiology on the other hand is basically understanding how these body structures and body organs are functioning together in coordination with each other, right? Okay, now let's dive little deep into the history of anatomy, right? So that we can understand how exactly anatomy came into existence, right? How old it is and how exactly the concept of anatomy and physiology came into existence. So long time ago, right, in the ancient times, people used to use dead bodies to understand the physiology and the anatomy, and it was kept a secret because it was considered as taboo. Imagine you're sitting in a classroom and your friend is talking about dissecting a body and studying anatomy out of it. You may or may not find it difficult, right? So in the ancient days it was very odd, and it was considered as a taboo when you used to talk about this anatomy and dissecting bodies and all these things. So it was kept a secret, and as eventually modernization took place, slowly it has been evolving. Now the first Greek physician, Galen, who lived in the 2nd century, learned about the human body while dissecting pigs when they were alive, right? So this individual that you see on the screen, right, his name is Claudius Gallenius, right? Now he used to dissect pigs when they are alive, did a lot of findings, and post that there is another person called Leonardo da Vinci. Maybe you would have heard about this name. Now he was an artist from the ancient period, right? And what he did basically, using his sketching skills, a lot of various skill sets that he had, he used to examine the dead bodies to understand how the human body works, and he created incredibly detailed drawings based on his observations. And however, after some point of time, the Pope asked him to stop doing this because it was considered as a disrespect to the human bodies, according to the culture and religion whatever they used to follow. What happened was, Galen did some findings which was on the pig. Leonardo da Vinci studied a lot of human dead bodies and understood how the anatomy can be related with each other, and he used to showcase it with the sketching skills that he had, basically through diagrams. Now post that, after so long, in the 17th and 18th century, there were rules about who could perform human dissections. Now it was the time when no one can randomly select or find a dead body and start dissecting it. There were rules that were made so that only selected or authorized individuals are allowed to perform human dissections. Now few of the people who were allowed to do this, they were using cadavers. Now again, I'll come to that in the coming section. So let's read it and understand what exactly we are talking about, right? So in the 17th and 18th century, there were rules about who could perform human dissections, like I said, and only certified anatomists were allowed to do it, right? So even if you have to dissect a human body, you have to be a certified anatomist. And these dissections were highly regulated, right? It was done under surveillance, and it was following a lot of guidelines to do the same. And it eventually became quite popular, and they became quite popular and were even open to the public, with people having to pay to attend. So like you see a lot of seminars that are happening in the same way in the olden days, in the 17th and 18th century, these people like the certified anatomists used to conduct these dissections in the public events where people can pay and get their seats, and they can maybe watch and learn from it. And artists, two of the very renowned artists at that point of were interested in these dissections and would go sometimes to watch them as well. So it was not only limited to the people who are interested to study about the anatomy, because these two individuals, maybe you can go through the PDF, these two individuals were the artists of that time. They were into designing very beautiful paintings and sculptures and whatnot. So these kind of people also used to go and attend these events. Now, later to that, what happened is in Europe, there was a time when studying human anatomy became very popular because these people were conducting a lot of events. In the Europe, these kind of things became very popular, and people were interested to learn about the human body, that some individuals started digging up graves illegally to get corpse for study. Now there were people who cannot afford this kind of events and similar situations to like that. So what they used to do is, as soon as someone's funeral is done and they're buried, these people used to go to the grave, dig the pit, take out the corpse, and maybe dissect them to study about the same thing. Now this became a profitable but illegal occupation. However, in 1832, Britain passed away a law which was called the Anatomy Act. So basically, what is an Anatomy Act? If you guys don't know, I'll just highlight it for you guys. Now what it basically does is, this law made it legal for medical students to have enough bodies to study. Now these bodies came from executed murders, which provided sufficient supply for the anatomical study. Now, as I said, in the olden days, when a murder is being committed, or the dead bodies of those sort were directly sent to the medical colleges, where the medical students have the dead bodies to study and dissect and get more understanding about the anatomy and physiology, right? So eventually that this is something that really that I found very interesting to study more about, because people literally used to dig the grave, take out the dead bodies, take it to their home, dissect it, study it, and then eventually bury it back. So it was something really interesting that I came across. And in the modernization, like considering in today's environment, medical students preferably have study anatomy and physiology using educational cadavers. Now what are cadavers? So you would have heard, right, a lot of medical conferences or medical expos that you have attended, you would be seeing a lot of dead bodies that are lying there. And if you ask them, people would say that, doctors or the practitioners would say that these bodies are donated to us so that the people can study. So basically, cadavers are the dead bodies of the people who voluntarily give their body to different universities for so that the medical students can practice. It is also known as donating their body to science. I have highlighted it here. So basically, these individuals, they donate their body so that it can be used to maybe discover or study more about the anatomy and physiology of the body, right? I've added a couple of pictures here, so maybe you can get a more understanding about it. So what have all of these dead bodies shown us? So from the 17th and 18th centuries, a lot of people have been dissecting bodies and studying, understanding, taking observations, a lot of things. So what it has shown us, in simple terms, a key concept that repeats itself is that the way something works. In basically, what I want to tell you is, guys, function follows a form. So basically, the idea applies to the individual cell, the organs within a body, and then the entire living being. Essentially, the structure or shape of something is designed in a way that allows it to perform certain functions very effectively. Now, you imagine how your hands are designed, how your legs are designed. Like you have 5 fingers, and each of the fingers you use it for various purposes, and the design of it is what is helping it or making it to do those functions or actions very effectively, right? So blood flows in one direction through our heart because of the special doors called valves. So basically, you would have heard it, blood flows only in one direction. It's only unidirectional, right? And when the blood is moving through your heart, the blood is not flowing back. It is because of the valves, because it stops it from going back. Basically, in medical or in biological term, you said that it prevents the backflow of the blood. So just like how your bones are tough and strong, they act like shield to protect and hold up all the soft and delicate parts inside your body. So two instances, like I said, the prevention of blood flow is because of the valves. The bones, the structure of your bones helps to keep your delicate organs of the body safe from the damage, right? So these are all called the complementarity of structure and function. So the complementarity of structure and function means that the way something is built determines what it can do. In simpler terms, in very simple words, the shape and design of something determine how it works and what it can possibly do. So like I said, that the shape and design of your nose, the eyes, the ears, the lungs, the heart, everything is made in such a way that they are able to perform the task that they are meant to do, right? Now coming to the hierarchy of organizations. Now, just like you're sitting on your chair, which is made up of completely tiny particles called atoms, the entire body is made up of atoms, right? And there are about 7 octillion, which is a really big number. There are 7 octillion atoms in your body, which is helping your body structure to look as it is. And all different body parts, right, are built from a group of atoms called cells. So, as you would have heard, there are different first is the chemical organization, cellular organization, tissue organization, organs organization, then organ systems, then the human body. So if you break it down, a group of cells will make a group of tissue, like a tissue basically. So they all have some basic functions that they need to do to keep you alive. However, cells can look very different from each other, and they come in various sizes and shapes. Now obviously the size of a red blood cell will be completely different from a size of a white blood cell, right? Now this is because, why the shapes and sizes are different? It is because each type of cell has this special job that they have to do in your body, and these shapes, like we studied previously, these shapes helps us to perform those tasks very effectively because of the shape and structure that they have, right? So a group of atoms make a cell. A group of cell will make a next organization, which is called tissues, right? Now one more fact, right? The smallest cell in your body is the red blood cell, which measures about 5 micrometers across. Now typically a group of cell, like I said, make the next level of organization, which is tissues. Now again, there are different types of tissues: muscles, membranes, epithelial tissue, mucosal tissue, a lot of different tissues that are there. Why they are different in shape, size, is because of the functions that they have to do in your body. A group of tissues collectively will form organ, which is the heart, the liver, the lungs, the skin, and etc., basically performing the different functions of the body, keeping the body to move along as you are alive. So coming back, summarizing it again, a group of atoms will make a cell, a group of cell will make a tissue, a group of tissue will make an organ, and a group of organ will make an organ system. So organs work together and combine to get things done, forming an organ system. And that's exactly, your heart will be doing a different function, your stomach, your liver, your kidney, everything's, all different organs are doing different functions, and when you combine it together, it completely forms the body, which is the living individual. As you can see, there's a guy happy. So breaking it down further, chemicals, which is atoms, group of atoms, cells, group of cells to tissues, group of tissues to organs, group of organs to organ system, and together the organ system makes it to the human body, which is a live body. Okay, so we would stop here. The reason being because the next modules or next topics which I will be covering, it will be really confusing because we will be understanding the terminologies to denote different aspects of the body, which is called the directional terms. So that is little confusing. So what we will be doing is we will be stopping this video here, and in the next video I will be basically talking about the different directional terms that you use to denote different parts and its position inside the human body, right? So far, summarizing again, what we have covered is basically understanding the meaning of anatomy, meaning of physiology, hierarchy of organizations, complementarity of structure, and the history of anatomy. So I hope this video was beneficial for you. You got to learn a lot of things from this video. If yes, make sure you are liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and please press the bell icon so that as soon as I upload the next part of the video, you are notified about the same and you can keep note of it, right? So I hope you all get benefited out of So once again, I hope this video was beneficial for you. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down your doubts, and don't forget to join the community channel if you are interested to be part of a good learning environment. See you in the next video. Until then, study well, be safe, and grow together.